The very thought of them makes us tremble. Today, they are cold, hardened criminals, staring death in the face. But not long ago, they were just innocent children with everything in life to look forward to. What happened?
There are more than 200 active gangs in Jamaica, many of the members still in school. Yesterday, they were the victims. Today, they could be the criminals. From boys to men, our focus this week on CS311.
Crime Stop Jamaica and National Bakery, in association with TVJ and our sponsors, Guardsman, Home and Things, Careers Jamaica, Grace Kennedy, Progressive Grocers and Musson Foundation present CS311 with Deirdre Dixon and Leroy Hall.
It is painful to see just how many of our most heartless criminals are simply young and misguided boys and girls, attacking a system and a society that they feel has failed them.
Last week, we looked at child abuse and neglect in Jamaica. And tonight, we face one of the consequences, crime and gangs.
The Counterterrorism and Organized Crime branch of the JCF reports that most of Jamaica's gang members are 16 to 20, 21 to 25, or 26 to 30, slowly sinking deeper and deeper into the world of crime. Detective Inspector Clifton Green tells us more.
Well, in support of the Jamaica Constabulary Force's strategic priority, number one, in reducing serious and violent crimes, we, being supported by the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act, we have embarked on activities to disrupt criminal organizations, dissuade persons from joining those groups, disarming some of the criminals, defending the communities from these criminal elements. I am not so sure I can say the gang culture is on the rise. However, this particular phenomenon does pose a significant challenge to law enforcement and the civil liberties of the citizens of Jamaica. Some of the things young people find appealing in trying to join some of these groups: sense of belonging, loyalty, the prospect of getting financial or other material support, and they also respond to peer pressure as well as they do fail to understand the dangers that these groups themselves present. But it's safe to say, from where I sit, from where we sit at the Counterterrorism and Organized Crime branch, that over 70% of the serious crimes within Jamaica has been attributed to criminal groups. Some of the most common gang-related crimes would be murders, shootings, extortion, lottery scamming, illicit trade in firearms and ammunition, other goods which are not legal, they do peddling those as well. So we see a wide plethora of activities that these criminal organizations, they do engage in. The criminal organizations, they do try and find the recruits in schools, in communities, in places which offer already availability of persons who are not employed, school dropouts. For the youngsters, it's all about the excitement, the opportunities, financial gains, and so on. It's a number of things that do attract them to these criminal groupings and the lifestyle. And I don't think that many of them understand the dangers. Parents and guardians should ensure that they get involved in the lives of their younger ones, ensuring that they know their friends and the families of those friends, get involved in their school activities, speak to them about the dangers of being aligned to these criminal groups, letting them understand that they are loved by them, and that is critical. Because most of these youngsters, they seek a sense of belonging, sense of being loved, and if it is not given within the household, naturally they will seek it elsewhere. A very critical part of the efforts parents and guardians should exercise in trying to dissuade the youngsters from joining these criminal groups. Criminal organizations are direct threats to national security, proper living standards, and general well-being of Jamaica as a whole. It's imperative that each person plays his or her role in ensuring that we reduce the impact that these violent organizations do have on our everyday lives. Let us manage the younger ones, and not necessarily just the males, but females as well. Let us support them, let us encourage them in the right and correct ways. Lead an exemplary life. Ensure that as adults, we do not support the negatives and set the bad examples for them.
Children as young as 14 and 15 years old are regularly arrested for crimes ranging from robbery to rape to murder. Do you know what your 14-year-old is doing right now? Or what he or she did today?
Think about that as we bring you our featured crime.
Just outside of Clarkstown, Trelawney, is a little district called Hyde. At about 10 p.m. on Friday, May 19, 2017, the peace of the night on Christian Street was shattered by the sound of gunfire. Neighbors were afraid to leave their homes but called the police, who discovered the lifeless bodies of 19-year-old Makeda Waldo, otherwise called Monique, and her baby daddy, 24-year-old Shamar Williams. They had been shot several times.
The crime figures are cold and unfeeling, numbers and statistics, but the pain of grieving family members is real.
Me and my kid have a good relationship. Easygoing, somebody always listening. She's a child who will look out for her father at all the times. Love her family. Especially her big brother, she love her brother. Her brother is headless. For my last daughter, each time she talk, she would say, "Mommy, no money to make my homework." But you know, it affects her with her schoolwork. Child should leave behind. I always say he doesn't realize that his mother and father died. But recently, has a picture inside my barrel, and when he goes there, he said, "Grandma, mommy, mommy." So I say, "No, sir, I'm your mommy. Mommy, mommy." TJ doesn't matter right now. He does the father. He just have his grandparents around him right now. Aunts and uncle come in between when them have the time to come and see him. So if anybody have any information out there, please come forward. Not because of me, but remember, she died leave, a 1 year, 3 months baby. So please remember him.
Some of us will never be able to afford an alarm system, or will never live in a gated community, or drive in a bulletproof car. But we all have a right to be safe.
Crime Stop is open to anyone and everyone. The number to call is 311. Remember, your identity is safe. No *69, no caller ID. If you know anything about this crime, the time to call is now.
Gangs are more than just groups of criminals who get together to prey on victims. The intricate gang system would shock many of us who live outside of it.
Fighting them is no easy task, but we have to do it for our children's sake.
Did you know? Brought to you by Careers Jamaica. If you want to be profitable in business, a good organizational structure is key. This is a lesson that many of Jamaica's gangs have learned only too well. Just as companies appoint their CEO, gangs are run by a leader. The leader's word is law, and he is backed by his trusty second in command. Next in line is the financier, the man who handles the money. When business is booming, many financiers live overseas and supervise the big cash earners, drugs, human trafficking, and other financial crimes. Then you have the logistics men who manage the tools needed to take care of the business. The cars, the phones, SIM cards. These are your administrators. The weapons man is a property manager, acquiring and repairing any of the arms that are essential tools of the trade. Of course, no gang could survive without a documentation man to obtain visas, passports and permits by fraud, bribery or worse. The triggermen operate at the bottom, dirtying their hands with petty offences, shootings and murders. And for cases of extortion, gangs have their specialists too. Some gangs are reported to rake in as much as $1.8 million weekly. In a country with so many youth in crisis, even a job that requires robbery, rape, scamming, murder may seem like the greatest job of all.
We need all your attention. Please stay tuned. Missing is next. You may know where to find one of these people.
An Ananda alert had been activated for then 15-year-old Anicia Davis of Cassava River, Glengoff, St. Catherine. She has been missing since Monday, December 9, 2017. She's of dark complexion, medium build, 165 centimeters or 5 feet 5 inches tall, and walks with a limp. Anicia Davis was last seen in Waterford, Portmore, St. Catherine. 22-year-old Mario Williams, otherwise called Russian, of Parrytown, Ocheria, St. Anne, has been missing since Saturday, February 4, 2017. He is of brown complexion, slim build, and is 188 centimeters or 6 feet 2 inches tall. Mr. Williams was last seen at about 11:30 a.m. in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, dressed in a black hat, grey shirt, grey pants, and a pair of black shoes. An Ananda alert had been activated for then 16-year-old Chanel Smith, otherwise called Chin Chin, of Ebenezer Avenue, Kingston 20. She has been missing since September 19, 2016. She is of dark complexion, medium build, and about 127 centimeters or 4 feet 2 inches tall. Chanel left home for an undisclosed location at 3 p.m. and has not been seen or heard from since.
When their parents can't or won't control them, the education system lets them down and society leaves them without employment and without hope. Many of our youth embrace the violence that is all around them.
They choose gangs as the path to their salvation. Recently, we spoke to two people who were lucky enough to find their way back.
Well, from a tender age, I admired gangs. The individuals involved in the gangs, based on how they live their lives, girls rush, bike, car, house, lots of money, the partying. So I thought that was the way out, you know. And
I grew up overseas, and gang thing over there is different than out here. Like, when you sell drugs over there, it's like you get anything you want, as long as you have the money, and the money is very easy to make. Running down this gang thing, never had to think about it. Leave me in a whole heap of corruption and things. Give me 10 years in a prison.
I did some but little jail time, you know, as some would say cowboy lunchtime, but you know, we do the works in the arbitrary jail. But jail hardens some people and jail softens some people based on the situation or the mindset.
The individual decides, say, boy, I don't have nothing to live for. Jail that change for your mind.
Word.
But if individual see like what me do, although when me in there, I think like me never have nothing to live for. But when I come out, right, I'm go to McGregor go there and see how they live with your people, and I say, no sir, can't live so.
Inside of the gang is totally different from outside of the gang. They say gang world and modern world. You know, being in the gang, there are certain rules and principles that you have to abide by. You know, that teaches you the true governance of the road itself, as some people would say, street knowledge. So with the help of a mother who saw a brighter future in me, and get a farm from the CSJP company, which then I thought was just a rubbish company. You know, I swear to you, CSJP was like, does nothing to me. You know, but forget the real facts of CSJP, you know, trust me. It's the oxygen where you breathe. You know, CSJP is the fruit of Jamaica. Right now, without CSJP, I don't think Jamaica can really sustain the principles of life because them target youth at risk, help them into a productive lifestyle.
Imagine the lifestyle, you have your Rolex, you have your big, you live life like a hip-hop rapper, like a rap star. You have any vehicle you want, you just jump on up for yo. Line up that for me. You understand? Come down here so now. Yeah, me come down with a little change in my pocket. But when time that done, I start scratch me and I say, yo, what me I gonna do now? See me? CSJP.com. Look. Mr. Aston, you ready to go back to school? I say, what you mean? I got grab the opportunity, run with it, and end up at university with a level 3 welding certificate. You see me? Me not done that so. We apply to go up more. And I stop until the government gets in and tough head say, we want a better Jamaica.
You know, for where me I come from, to me there right now. Trust me, I have a whole heap of title. Speech motivator, mediator, mentor, welder. You know, and we way to become Jamaica's best social worker at the university. You know, so look out for what's coming. You know, so the government need for us to take a good look on Menita message and sow after offer. Because for one, we're going to school all across Jamaica. So we've been into like over about 100 schools. We have motivated over 250,000 youths across the island. We've been in institutions, colleges, churches, on the corner, in the home.
The youths them here. No ghetto, no uptown, no downtown, no middletown, no go. And nobody no know it.
In the end, what matters most isn't how long we have lived, but how fully we have lived. The good we have done, the friends we have made, and the love we share along the way.
So no one now don't live up. Bless up, crime is a dead end.
That was a real eye-opener. I hope you were listening. Have you seen any of these wanted men? Do you know where to find them? Your call can make a difference.
Dennis Channer, aka Boy Boy, is wanted in connection to a murder committed on Russell Road, Kingston 11 on March 22, 2017. He is of dark complexion, slim build, and 5 feet 8 inches or 173 centimeters tall. Dennis Boy Boy Channer is known to frequent the Rome community of Maxfield Avenue. Kyan Rose, aka Munchie, is wanted in connection to a murder on Gem Road, Kingston 13, committed on July 13, 2010. She is of dark complexion, stout build, and blind in one eye. Kyan Munchie Rose is known to frequent the Gem Road area of Maxfield Avenue.
Be alert. Watch this scam.
Jenny and her sister, go and carry festa, I used to run here, so but I the heavy traffic round on the main road, you know, so I have to take that little back road here to make certain, so I can make the traffic, you know. It was all night, till daylight, all night, till daylight, one Miss Mary, hey, quite contrary. How with it? No man, how would this? What kind of foolishness? How would this do? John Star!
Whether it's an egg or a rock stone, it's a bad idea to stop your car. Drive to a well-populated area before getting out to check for damage. This is a well-known scam, but it still catches many people. You stop, you get robbed, possibly even killed. If it's an egg, do not turn on your wiper. It will just get worse. Criminals are always on the lookout for an advantage. lifelong, but you mustn't careless with it. Don't be scammed.
Don't allow yourself to be an easy target. This safety advice may help.
Safety tips sponsored by Guardsman.
Gangs are the workforce of organized crime. It's said that in Jamaica there are over 280 gangs operating, some with as few as 3 people, others with as many as 60 people. They move from one opportunity to another opportunity. Some are gangs for hire, some have their own organized means of raising funds. At the end of the day, every gang has an objective. It is to be able to survive financially, it is to be able to survive safely within a community, as well as to continue to exist to wreak havoc on the state. In Jamaica, we have allowed gangs to grow. We have all turned a blind eye, we have all remained silent on the functions and activities of gangs until it's too late. It turns on us as a community and as a people. We need to say what we know about gangs because it moves from one thing to another. Today, the gang may be protecting a drug shipment. Tomorrow, the gang may be protecting a lotto scammer. And all of these things feed the money to the gangs. That money is turned around into a business, whether it be the importation and smuggling of guns, whether it be the importation, exportation of drugs. It continues to a growing criminal activity. Gangs feed on unattached youth, particularly young males. We need to ensure that we guide our young males away from those gang activities and let them understand what the consequences are. But the deeper thing that gangs do is that it affords the criminal element wealth. They live a lifestyle that we all see because it's out there in the open, and they are taking away the value of an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. The gang, sooner or later, turns on the very community that it exists in, because where there is no economic opportunity by way of smuggling or intimidation and gun activities, they turn on the very communities that they exist in. We need to speak out. We need to tell the authorities what we know about gangs before the gangs start to feed on us.
The face of crime and gangs in Jamaica is getting younger and younger unless we do something about it. The change begins with us. Take care of your children.
Parents, meet their friends, watch their behavior, watch over them, and protect their future. Give them something worthwhile to fight for. If you don't, someone else will. I'm Deidre Dixon.
And I am Leroy Hall. See you again, same time and same place, next week on CS311.